It is that time to make a change. You're listening to Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner. We count it all joy that we are here together today, per usual. Doc, we are excited. So much going on in the world, in our country, in the world. One of the things that are just on my mind, really, really tough, is the fact that the Democrats decided to put a taco truck in front of the Republican National Committee's headquarters to give out free tacos. And they used the slogan that Trump, what was their slogan? Trump always chickens out. And that spells taco. And I'm just thinking to myself of all the things that the Democratic Party could be doing to advance ideas and policies to stand up for working class people, to change material conditions, to plot and plan, strategize, organize. Those are the words of our brother, Michael Render, aka Killer Mike. I don't think putting a taco truck outside of the RNC headquarters with the slogan, Trump always chickens out, is quite meeting the mark for the needs today. But I don't know, Doc. That's just me. So we'll get to that, some other things that are on our mind. But first, we got to start with you, Doc. You're in the house. So glad.
I tell you, yeah, all of this trickery and gimmickry, it's all superficial vacuity. It's empty, but it's a sign of a managerial class that lacks imagination, and it also lacks courage. So it just wants to appeal to the spectacle rather than get at substance. And you can't have substance if you don't have character. You can't have character if you don't have courage. And you can't have courage unless you're willing to take a risk, unless you're willing to live and be willing to actually die for something while you live. And if you don't, if you're not moving in that direction, then it's clear that it's just all gimmickry. And unfortunately, that characterizes so much of the leadership of the Democratic Party. And of course, Republican Party is just downright raw gangsterism, so that we locked into this system of overwhelming corruption. But I tell you this, though, that one of the things on my mind, I was up late last night watching the line dancing of the senior hands dance of Ernest Gist there in Virginia, DMV, which is, the three state. There's something about this line dancing. 803 Fresh coming out of Carolina, the Carolina Soul. Everywhere now, you got these folks dance with these boots on the ground. You got their fans waving, boots on the ground. And that is for real. There's something very authentic about folk moving their bodies in a groove-like way to a music that speaks to their soul. It could be King George. It could be David Scott's Your Birthday. It could be Leroy Allen, just talking about ILOVYOU. People are hungry for the real thing, and this line dancing, I hope, is a prefiguration of deeper forms of Black people coming together in genuine solidarity, not uniformity, but acknowledging the diversity of voices, but still coming together in order to defend ourselves and determine ourselves. And they affirm our dignity and do it in such a way that we're willing to live and die. See, now it's a move from a line dance to being a freedom fighter. We understand that. But those in the line dance, they free. I was talking down the heat about this last night. They are free, and everybody doing it their own way. And you got sisters up in there moving. Some of them got wigs. Some of them got their natural hair. All of them dignified. All of them looking beautiful. Some of them 80 years old, and some of them are 25. And I give it up to 803 Fresh, because part of his vision, it's the whole movement, is trying to get us back to a deep soulfulness. And soul is the sharing of a soothing sweetness against the backdrop of a catastrophe that's real as a heart attack, that is new as foam and as solid as a rock. That's the history of Black folk.
Doc, you rhyming. You laying it out. I love that. Yeah, I love that boots on the ground. I ain't tried it yet. I know my significant other, he wanted me to learn that. He said that's gonna be pretty. He said that's gonna be delicious.
Oh yeah, you be
You doing
grooving
the
with it.
boots on the ground.
You be grooving with it, dog, man. We be doing our little thing, right in front with the Ernest Just group right there with those magnificent black folk. It's just a beautiful thing. And it just reverts us back to family, community, tradition, struggle, black joy. Don't let all of this despair, dampen your fire, to put out your soul. No. Sometimes all you can do is sing a song, or crack a smile, or shed a tear, or get in a line and just dance with the others. And you don't have to even necessarily go with the steps all the time. I see some folk in there just moving with the line. They just moving with the line, you see.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and finding that joy, joy in the revolution, joy in the work. We got to pause because that's how we keep going. And we know in terms of our ancestors and what they bring, there's like this collective memory of Black people. Many of us have not been to the continent. Certainly many of us don't necessarily know where our specific ancestors hail from on the continent, but there's a collective bringing over, carryover of some of those traditions that we might not quite understand. But Doc, when you juxtapose our line dancing with what our sisters and brothers and family and friends doing over there on the continent, baby, it's pretty much the same.
You see the continuity.
Yes.
Absolutely. Deep similarity. Overlap strong.
It's uncanny. I mean, it's almost scary. And we are the most emulated people on the planet. You're listening to Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner. We're talking about Black joy in the midst of the struggle.
Speaking truth to power and to the powerless. This is Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say.
Let's do this.
Let's get it on.
On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There will be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is resilience in the face of chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our Black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA.
Love you. Love you.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
To thine own self be true. More of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner coming your way right now on KBLA Talk 1580.
Beautiful thing indeed. So, like, earlier this morning we were together doing some things, and yesterday as I was combing, my social media, just reading some articles too, and saw this that the Democratic Party was giving away tacos yesterday between 12 and 2 p.m. in front of the RNC. And their theme that they're pushing is Trump always chickens out. And so I quote tweeted on top of that. I had to step back for a minute because I wanted to cuss on it, but I calmed myself down. I wanted to speak in tongues, I took a step back, and this is what I quote tweeted on top of this foolishness, this nonsense. I said, at DNC, no, and I have to put a whole bunch of O's. This stunt further illustrates how unserious our party is, or for others who are not part of the Democratic Party, how unserious the party is. People are starving. People are losing jobs and healthcare, and y'all playing kid games. Tricks are for kids. So for a party that has a 27% approval rating, a party that lost the popular vote and the Electoral College to President Donald J. Trump, made him stronger this time around than he was even when he won back in 2016. I'm just thinking to myself, y'all have not learned any lessons at all. People's health care is being taken with the cuts to Medicaid. Folks work in a gig economy that if it was extra money, it would probably be okay. But for some people, they got 4 and 5 gigs just to string together. We got chaos brewing in the White House, in the Congress, in the judiciary. And y'all think it's prudent, y'all being the leadership of the Democratic Party, to rent. Now, they had to pay for this. I don't know how much it costs. A taco truck to give away tacos in front of the RNC. And then they think they're doing something. That just didn't sit well with me, given the suffering. Now, if people were doing all right, if most people were doing mighty fine, I still would have thought it was stupid. But in the midst of the crisis that we are in right now, and they think this is cute, they think that this is going to hurt President Trump, which it is not. It just shows that, maybe they ain't fit to lead.
No, I hear you. Those are strong words, though. It's just, I guess it's both sad, but to be expected. That vision is lacking, backbone is lacking, spine is lacking in the leadership of the Democratic Party. It's just a fundamental fact. No color, not even a matter of color, because you got some black ones, white ones, brown ones, and others just want to fit into the establishment and want to be able to act as if, all they need to do is just make fun of Trump and they gonna win. No, if you don't have nothing positive to give, you don't have a vision that moving people forward, then all of the little cheap name calling is not gonna work. Now, it's true, Trump is a gangster, he's a xenophobe, he's a racist. We can go on and on and on with that. But you can only say that so many times where it touches people to want to do something. It is the truth, but you got to say more than the truth. You got to say more than the truth. And in fact, as Melville says, in part of the greatest short story in American literature named Billy Budd, Herman Melville says, truth uncompromisingly spoken always has jagged edges. So if you're going to speak the truth about Trump, which is fine, go at his gangsterism and thuggish activity, but that truth is also going to come back at you. And if all you got to offer is taco symbolically and TACO phonetically, then you ain't got too much to offer. You just don't. You really don't. You got genocide happening in Gaza, genocide in Sudan. You got poverty in Black America, white America, brown America, indigenous peoples. You got 62% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. You got increasing violence at home, domestic as well as social. People more and more killing each other. They're killing Jews in Colorado, which is sick. I heard about these vicious attacks on black folk for swastikas. I mean, all of this xenophobic violence, the tax on Palestinians, tax on Arabs and Muslims, all this xenophobic violence going on connected to the economy, connected to the imperial policies abroad, and all you can come up with is selling tacos. Trump is chicken. He said, wait a minute now, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that doc, they wasn't even selling them. I mean, they were giving them away.
Giving them away for free. Yeah,
that's pathetic. Right. I mean, it's pathetic. And then another point on that Brother Ryan brought to our attention that he spotted was somebody making the reference that, hey, Democrats, y'all might want to slow down on that rhetoric because, and I'm paraphrasing, the story that Ryan told us, but if this man is a neo-fascist, and which we know that he is, if he's somebody that's going to abuse power, why would you poke the bear? And I'm paraphrasing, why would you poke the bear and say he's chickening out? What is it that you want him? You want him to go harder on the foolishness that he's already putting out there? I mean, Democrats, this don't even make any sense. You should be trying to get him to pull back, not threaten his ego and to say that he always chickens out. So, Doc, your thoughts on that? And you brought up an important point about how the money class and the tariffs and all of that. So the Democratic Party in this duopoly, they got to make up their mind whose side they're on and stop falling for these things that seem cute in the moment, but really do a disservice to both what the Democrats claim they are and want to be, and also does a disservice to the faithful who believe in this party to do something different than the Republican Party.
Absolutely. I mean, one of my observations was that it was Wall Street that first came up with this claim about taco, because Trump says he's going to push tariffs, then he changes his mind and pulls back. He says he's going to increase the percentage, then he pulls back. And you see, for Wall Street, it doesn't give a damn about poor people, don't give a damn about working people. All they want to do is push Trump and play with Trump in such a way that the tariffs go down so their profits go up. But see, Trump ain't been chickening out in terms of his vicious attacks on immigrants. He hasn't been chickening out in terms of his vicious attacks on poor people, cutting back or taking from the poor in order to give to the rich with this beautiful bill. There ain't nothing beautiful about that bill. It's immoral, it's unjust, and it crushes poor and working people. Now, see, he's not chickening out. He's a gangster. He's up front. That's offensive. That's very offensive, you see. And it's offensive in terms of him sponsoring the genocide in Gaza. It's offensive in terms of him trying to invite money from the Arab elites. Most of the Arab elites don't give a dang about their own poor and working people, don't give a dang about Palestinians undergoing genocide. They just living large, just like Trump in Florida, just living large. And so in that sense, I try to just contextualize that taco thing. It ain't poor people saying he's a chicken. No, he's coming at us with pitchforks. Yeah. And we got to keep fighting.
We do. I mean, he's doing what he said he was going to do, how he said he was going to do it, disregarding what law is. Often the so-called law and order party breaking all kinds of law, twisting the law to fit them. And the lack of depth of the Democratic Party, even after, I'm going to use a term that President Obama used when they lost in 2010, when the blowback, the backlash happened in 2010 where they lost over 1,000 seats, both collectively on the federal and state levels, when he said we've been shellacked. And for Democrats to fast forward and now don't understand they've been shellacked, and they need to think very seriously and very carefully both how inside that Congress where Democrats represent as elected and both the apparatus of the DNC, how they come at people, how they cultivate a coalition that can push back against authoritarianism. But no, they're not doing that. All they care about is trying to be cute, and they looking crazy.
They're looking crazy, but they still tied to that big money.
That's right, Doc.
Oh, they want their good billionaires as opposed to the bad billionaires who support Trump, but it's still both parties tied to the billionaire strata.
Yeah, and I would say a good billionaire or a good multimillionaire is somebody who understands that the system as it is going is untenable, that
That's right.
So few having so much is wrong. First of all, it's not sustainable, and it is wrong. The majority of our economy, 70% of our economy, is a consumer-based economy. So when you have barely middle-class people, working poor, everybody's in the working class. When you have working class people who do not have disposable income based on the way this economy is shaped, that hurts everybody. Dare I say, even the ultra wealthy. I'm saying that because the system as it exists now is not in their interest. Now, I don't believe that billionaires should exist, but since we got a few of them, let's have a strong conversation about having a strong working class that is strong spiritually, mentally, and economically. Also helps them.
That's exactly right, especially in the long run. Because in the long run, it's going to collapse and everybody goes under.
That's right.
Everybody goes under.
And God, the Democrats just don't get it. And they like these stunts. You know, other things are coming out. You got a lot of these neoliberals that wouldn't say a mumbling word while President Biden was in office. But now all of a sudden they coming out. You know, his press secretary that now came out and said she going independent.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, Doc. Oh, yeah, just happened. She's writing a whole book about it. And I'm thinking to myself, her and none of these other people should get a pat on the back. They should be ignored. Because I am old enough to remember when this press secretary went off on Congresswomen Rashida Tlaib and Bush and called them abhorrent and repugnant.
Oh, you're talking about Cori Bush. Yes.
Yeah. Congresswoman Cori Bush. She said this about Congresswoman Cori Bush and also Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib because they were standing up for humanity, the humanity of Palestinians. This woman said this in the press room on behalf of the White House. She had to have known what was going on with President Biden. So to me, people like her, people like Secretary Buttigieg, people like Congressman Beto from Texas, they don't get no brownie points from me.
No, I agree.
They don't get no high five because it does not, they're not reflecting courage. They didn't have the courage to say it when it counted. And they misled the American people. She also got interviewed one time and she was asked, I think she was on Morning Joe, but don't hold me to this, about, how is the president? How's his stamina? Is he up for the job? And she pretty much said something like, I got to try to keep up with him. Now she knows she was lying. But now she's about to be rewarded with a book deal. And also she has declared herself now an independent.
Independent. Lord have mercy. Ain't got no regard for the truth whatsoever.
Not when it counted. Not at all. Oh, y'all, you listening to Truth Time. Hold that thought, Doc. We're going to get to it on the other side. You're listening to Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner. When we come forward, we will continue our riveting conversation.
The truth will set you free, but first it might raise your blood pressure.
I'm not jiving you, man.
More of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner when we come forward.
On
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Former President Biden's press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who is Black, says she's left the Democratic Party and is now independent.
What I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does.
In her book titled Independent, out October 21st, she details Biden's decision to end his re-election bid. A friend of Cassie Ventura testified that Sean Diddy Combs once told her he was the devil and could kill her. Brianna Bongolan says he also held her over a 17-story balcony in 2016. This comes as a video expert reviewed footage allegedly showing Diddy assaulting Cassie. And Black Texas Rep. Jasmine Crockett is running to lead the House Oversight Committee, calling herself a fresh voice to challenge the GOP. In a letter to colleagues, she warned of an existential crisis under current leadership. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers and Angels pulled out close wins in the 10th inning last night. The Dodgers got a walk-off double from Freddie Freeman in the 10th to beat the New York Mets 6-5. The Angels held on for a 4-3 win at Boston. The Angels are a game above 500 on the road. Coco Gauff defeated Madison Keys in 3 sets to advance to the French Open semifinals for the 3rd time in her career. The 21-year-old African-American tennis star is aiming for her first French Open title. She finished second in 2022. The French Open semifinals are Thursday. Entertainment mogul Byron Allen is giving a boost to the HBCU Las Vegas Football Classic featuring Grambling and Jackson State. Allen has agreed to use one of his media properties, HBCU Go TV, to broadcast and stream the game live. Grambling and Jackson State play in Vegas on Saturday, October 25th at Allegiant Stadium, home of the NFL Las Vegas Raiders. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least liked to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
KBLA Talk 1580 congratulates Pastor and Mrs. William Sachs Epps on their retirement from stewardship at the historic Second Baptist Church. Dr. Epps has faithfully served Second Baptist as its senior pastor for 37 years. What a legacy of love and leadership. Pastor and Mrs. Epps will be honored at a luncheon on Saturday, July 26, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sheraton Universal Hotel in Universal City, and you're invited to attend. Noted scholar Dr. Michael Eric Dyson is the keynote speaker. For ticket information, please contact epsretirement@gmail.com or call 213-399-2103. That's epsretirement@gmail.com or call 213-399-2103. To Pastor Epps and First Lady Epps, congratulations from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
This is where love and truth meet.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
You're listening to Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner.
You are, and yes, we are. So that we want to continue to lift up the fact that KBLA Talk 1580, 4 years old, the vision of our very own brother, Tavis Smiley, and the entire team, because it takes teamwork to make the dream work. The anniversary is coming up. The events, plural, are fast approaching, and we don't want you to miss out. So please make sure that you sign up. Now, all of these events are free and open to the public, but you must sign up. And all you have to do is go to KBLA1580.com. That is KBLA1580.com and sign up. And if you are planning to join us for the celebration and barbecue on June the 10th, we are asking that you bring a gift card of any amount. No amount is too small, of any amount, so that those gift cards can be donated to the families impacted by the Altadena fire. People are still suffering. They still need our collective help and our collective love. We can have fun with a purpose. And that is primarily what this and part of what this anniversary is all about. And so we would be grateful for anything, just anything that you can share. But again, make sure you sign up. KBLA1580.com. Doc, I'm excited. I know you're going to be there, right?
Well, I'm going to be there at least a day and a half or so. We're going to be there for the C-SPAN gathering, and then I've got to run off to
Denver,
Florida, I think it is. I got to go to Florida right after that next day, so I won't be there for all of the barbecue and things. I'll be thinking about the barbecue because I don't have nothing against the pig. Maybe I should, but that barbecue be tasting good. I'm telling you.
It does, Doc. It does. I dabble every now and then, but I try to stay away from the swine as much as I can.
I understand now. I understand. My Muslim brothers and sisters, they teach me well, but I got some sinful proclivities. So.
Me too, Doc. And my dad is Muslim, so you know. Pray for us, sister.
I love your father. He's a wise and wonderful man.
Yes, he is indeed. We appreciate all of you. So don't forget, please make sure you sign up and join us on this anniversary. Lift up. Send Brother Tavis a whole lot of love, because without his vision, we would not have this platform. He has said time and time again how important he believes it is for us to have our own platform so that we can tell our own stories. And Dr. West, you and Brother Tavis, you guys have been doing similar things on and off for a long time. I know you call him your brother.
Oh, indeed. No, it goes back almost 40 years, though. We've been through hell and high water, freezing over, break dancing on the ice, and getting ready for the fire.
Boots on the ground before Boots on the Ground was a song.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Where them fans at?
Where them fans at? Yes, sir.
Kicking up some dust. That's the truth.
Oh yeah, you both exhibited courage when very few would, so I love you both for it. Doc, we're gonna go to our live chat on the tube. We got Blessed Peacemaker in the house per usual. Hey, we count it all joy to be doing truth together right now with you all. God bless you, Dr. West and Senator Turner. Thank you, Blessed Peacemaker. Culture's in the house. We cannot change the system, but we can change how the system affects us. We can change how the system affects us But I also believe we can change the system.
Oh, we can definitely change the system. That's why the system targets us, because they know we're so powerful, we got strength, and they're trying to make sure that we don't have access to our power and don't have access to our confidence.
That part. But I know where culture was going with that. We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed Peacemaker is back. Senator Turner, I so appreciate you bringing DR Congo into the conversation yesterday. I have lived and worked in Rwanda with Congolese family, friends. It's the greatest unknown story of our lifetime.
Wow, powerful.
Yeah. Oh my God. Blessed Peacemaker again. I've been in the region the last 15 plus years and would love to help you understand the area. Dr. West has my contacts. All right, Blessed Peacemaker. We're gonna try to make that happen. And then Blessed Peacemaker, he goes on. Have you all seen the film Rise? And that's Rize. It is uncanny and downright shocking how deep the dance move DNA ties go. Oh my God. Don't we know it?
No, that's very true. But no, he's a wonderful brother there in Africa with his blessed family, and he's been struggling. He was very much part of the campaign as well, and I salute him. I really salute my brother.
Yeah, me too, Doc. It's been great getting to know him over these months that we have had Truth Time on the air. And Blessed Peacemaker, it is uncanny. That's why I believe those carryovers, we have carryovers from our foremothers and our forefathers that kept getting passed down generation after generation after generation. And so when you see those similarities from us over here in America to the similarities of our sisters and brothers and family and friends on other ports within that triangle trade,
that's right.
Places like Brazil that has the largest number of Black people of African descent outside of the continent itself. If you think about the triangle trade and how it went, you can understand why Brazil would have that much. And the places that got because once the international slave trade closed in 1808 in the United States of America, we know that they did the domestic thing, which they forced Black people to breed.
Mm-hmm.
On those areas where it had not closed, in those areas where you have the Africans direct from the continent into these places. And as their descendants become American or become Brazilian or become, Jamaican, Haitian, all of that direct descendancy, they were able to bring some of the things over with them that, quite frankly, the white supremacy power structure, enslavement power structure tried to beat out of them. But baby, you can't beat spirit. you can't beat soul out of somebody. And that's what these similarities show. To me, it's spiritual.
Oh, absolutely. There's a level of spiritual and cultural resilience, remembrance, resistance, but also shot through with a dignity and sense of honor, because you do it with style, and style is not something you play with. I know my dear brother Ren Troy Brown, who runs the Black Theater there in Los Angeles. That's exactly where we're going to have this gathering with Tavis. Actually, the Juneteenth going to be right there in Brother Ren's theater.
Yeah.
Golden Theater. But he always talks about the centrality of style. And he's absolutely right about that. He got a lot of style himself, actually. But style is just not some external ornament, but it's a major imprint on the cosmos of individuals who are rooted in long histories and heritages of peoples.
It's essence. It's like you can't really touch it. You can't totally duplicate this.
That's
People
right.
try.
That's right.
But you can't. You cannot. So Rise is what Blessed Peacemaker, our dear brother, is recommending that we see. Uncanny, he said. We got more Brother Morris Phillips in the house. Good afternoon, Dr. West and Senator Turner. Africa is rising. We surely hope so. We need that. Blessed Peacemaker again. Also, soundtrack to a coup d'etat is a fantastic film to explore the deep ties as well. Thank you for these film recommendations, Blessed Peacemaker. We got Stan Williams in the house. Giving out food in front of the RNC is akin to mayors handing over accused black men to lynch mobs. Have mercy. Boy, Brother Stan be coming through, Doc.
Ooh, Lord.
Wow. Brother Stan, yeah, Lord have mercy. You put that out there.
Mercy.
That is so true. And then Brother Williams goes on to lay out there that both the DNC and the GOP have always served the rich and powerful to the detriment of everyday people. Keep on speaking the truth, Senator Turner and Dr. West.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. And each and every one of you are beautiful. Again, we lift up all of you, but special uplift to those who join us on the tube and engage in a chat conversation, not only with Dr. West and I, but you all have built a strong community. You're listening to Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner.
It's Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm LA City Councilman Curran Price, inviting you to join us on Saturday, June the 14th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. as we cut the ribbon on the brand new Enel Woods Park at 8703 South McKinley Avenue. Thanks to a generous donation from Heal the Bay, the park features smart irrigation, stormwater capture systems, and space for local wildlife to thrive. And we've built a walking trail, picnic areas, native landscaping, and quiet spaces for families to gather, relax, and connect. This is part of a much larger effort to expand green spaces across South LA with 3 new parks in the works, a first-of-its-kind community center coming soon, and plans to connect it all through the South LA Greenway. So mark your calendar for Saturday, June 14th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and come celebrate a greener, stronger South LA at Enel Woods Park. I'm also pleased to sponsor the Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium, moderated by Tavis Smiley, live on C-SPAN, Wednesday, June the 18th, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Just a reminder to sign up right away at the KBLA1580.com website to join me, Mayor Karen Bass, Congresswoman Sidney Kamlager Dove, Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson, Dr. Cornel West, former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., the Sierra Club's Ben Jealous, and other Black influencers in the climate and health fields, as we continue to amplify the connection between climate and poor health outcomes for our people. Thank you for listening. I'm Councilman Curran Price.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431, and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
This is where love and truth meet.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
You're listening to Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner.
Yes, we are excited to be. Doc, we got some more conversation percolating in the chat. Blessed Peacemaker also, have you seen Feminists Resisting Fascism, Cold Pink Summer School Session 1 on YouTube? Claudia de la Cruz is tracing the roots of U.S. imperialism. Really good Our School on American barbarism. I haven't seen that, Doc, but I know Sister De La Cruz is cold. I mean, she cold.
Absolutely. I would encourage folk to check out what Sister Claudia de la Cruz is doing. You know, she's one of the visionary leaders of the People's Forum right here in New York City, which is the major center for any kind of serious left commitment to education, formation of folk ready to think and fight and serve and bear witness to the plight of poor people here and around the world. So I hope people get a chance to check out Sister Claudia de la Cruz's
I do too. Blessed Peacemaker said it's on YouTube, so check it out. And we know that Cold Pink is fierce. You got Madeir Benjamin, Doc. Man, them women, they put their bodies on the line.
Consistent year after year after year after year. I'm telling you.
Wow. And I just recently saw some footage of Madeir Benjamin. She was at an event where former Secretary Condoleezza Rice was at, and she took to the stage her little petite self. I don't even know she 4'5", but she real petite. She not 5 feet. I can tell you that. And she took to that stage and basically admonished those people for listening to Secretary Rice, at least on this particular subject, talking about peace, you know. And she brought up the Iraq War and the things that Secretary Rice was familiar with, was aware of, and definitely, you know, the gall, the pure unadulterated gall. The same way I feel about this current this press secretary talking this stuff about being an independent, and they picked her up. This black man, I hated that it was a black man. I mean, I didn't want to see any man do it, but it especially hurt me. He just picked her up and got her off the stage. I mean, he didn't push her or anything, but I just think he shouldn't have put his hands on her like that. But she constantly faces abuse by men and law enforcement and women of law enforcement pushing up against her body like that in ways that they don't have to. Again, this man didn't push on her, but he lifted her up. But I hated to see it. And Doc, she was talking all the way off the stage.
No, she is a towering freedom fighter, and I love her. You love her. We've been many acts together. She's been to jail a zillion times, and she has a whole network. I mean, she's not just there all by herself. Her beloved husband is strong, I must say.
I've never had the pleasure of meeting him, Doc.
The wonderful. But you can imagine, you know, the kind of deep love that's going toward Madeir, because Madeir is in and out of jail all the time, and he's right there. And he goes sometimes as well.
Yeah.
He does. But she's just consistent, and it's to have that kind of constancy in commitment and longevity of integrity, what I was talking about in relation to you just recently. That's very important. That's very important, especially times.
Yeah, I agree, Doc. And listen, somebody got to have the bail money, so I ain't mad if hubby can't go to jail every time. He got to be out there with the bail money. But y'all, please go and watch Feminists Resisting Fascism on YouTube. Thank you so much for that, Blessed Peacemaker conversation. Blessed Peacemaker is wishing at Morris Phillips, my brother and I are praying you are doing well today. And I as I said, our audience has conversation around each other. So we praying, Brother Morris, that you are doing well today.
Absolutely.
As well. We got Sally Jones 007 who said, wow. And she also mentioned that we definitely need Cori Bush back in Congress. The way the Congresswoman lost, the way they put all that muscle on her, we know that it was not right. And she was one of the very few fighters that we had in that Congress. Stan Williams, sorry, Matthew Miller was the press secretary for the State Department under Biden. And I think Doc, recently Matthew Miller came out. I think we mentioned him a little bit yesterday, saying that it is genocide.
That's right. That's what I heard. War crimes, genocidal attack.
Yeah. I guess we could say better late than never. And I really mean that. I'm not trying to be flip when I say it. I mean, definitely it's more important to lift those people who had the courage to take the slings and the arrows at the time, the truth tellers ahead of time. But, I'm still glad that some of these people are coming forward anyway.
No, it's true. People want to jump on the bandwagon at the last minute because the level of suffering now is such that when you have former prime ministers of Israel calling it genocidal attack.
Yeah.
Good God Almighty, there's not a lot of room left for folk not to understand the war crimes, the level of barbarity and criminality taking place in Gaza.
That is exactly right, Doc. And then we have Daryl Evans. Hi, Dr. West, Senator Nina Turner. And Mr. Evans has a question. What has the Black Caucus done for us Black folks recently?
Lord, we got a little Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? It's a very good question. Very good question. We're going to have to allow them to speak for themselves.
Amen. Amen. I ain't got nothing for you on that one, Brother Evans. So that should tell you all. Dr. Weston, I ain't got nothing for you. So that should tell you all you need to know. Recently, the key word being recently. How recent we talking? Right. The last 20 years, I don't know how recent. But anyway, I will definitely say that they are nothing like when the Black Caucus was formed and why it was formed. The originators, the architects of the Congressional Black Caucus, they knew full well what the mission was. They understood the assignment. Not so much now, but what have they done for us Black folks recently? I can't even tell you. And then we have Blessed Peacemaker, Senator Turner. Madeir has a foot hook technique. When she hooks her foot around chairs to prevent being dragged out. If you watch closely, she uses her body, her full body. And yes, she can speak all the way out. She do. I ain't know about that hook, that technique. No.
Ooh, Lord.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Now I'm gonna look for that technique, Doc. Now when I see her being pulled out,
that too.
Yeah, she's quite a woman. Dr. West and I both have had, as Dr. West has been arrested with her. I've certainly had the pleasure of being in her presence at many meetings, and I hold her in a very high regard. Very high regard. Her and her sisters, it's mainly sisters with her, and the men who are there. They don't have to do what they're doing, suffering the ridicule, having Congress members look down on them, walk away from them. Again, putting their physical bodies on the line every time they go, either to the Congress or to the office buildings and all of that, or when they just go to random meetings, like I saw Madeir at the other day when she just stormed the stage. That takes a lot. And that type of technique is not for everybody. Everybody has a role to play. As I often say, think of us as a football team or pick any sport you want. Everybody has a position. And I tell you, Doc, Cold Pink and so many others of those organizations who are very much anti-war. Madeir is Jewish. She's been called a self-hating Jew. She's been called all kinds of names and things from people who say that they believe in a living God or they believe in a higher power, but yet they would do and say some of the things that they've said to her and her colleagues. Again, she's not doing this by herself, Doctor, as you pointed out. But my God, just the bravery. I believe she should win the Nobel Peace Prize. I really do.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that it proceeds out of a profound love and care for suffering people. That is our dear sister Medea Benjamin, and that's not as widespread as it ought to be, but you see it in her life. Ain't no doubt about that.
Yeah, you do. And just even the mission of Cold Pink, they often talk about how, mothers all around the world, you would not want to send or see your children put in harm's way, not just for this war, they're anti-war altogether.
That's right.
And there's something piercing about trying to get people to put themselves in the position of the people who are suffering and imagine what you would want community to do and to say on your behalf if you were being abused like that. But this has been tremendous, Doc. It really, really, really have. We've talked about Black joy, where those fans at, boots on the ground. We talked about the Democratic Party wasting time, wasting money, wasting energy on messing around with President Donald J. Trump when they should be creating a vision and pushing that vision and trying to win people back over. And it's people like you by which Dr. West and I speak this truth. Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner. Live your life on purpose, know your purpose, and above all, titles are good, but purpose is better. Until next time.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.